Title: TIFU by having video sex with a stranger. So I just got off the phone with the police because a week and a half ago I was chatting with a girl on Reddit. Eventually we exchanged Instagram accounts, after which she asked if I wanted to have video sex on Hangouts. She's a pretty girl and we had a good time. Or so I thought. This afternoon I received a message from her saying she recorded everything and she wants me to pay €500 or else she'd send the video to all my contacts. I'm not the guy to start to panic, so I called the police for advice. They told me to block her so that she can't send me threats anymore, so that's what I did. I came up with the idea to post on my social media that if anyone receives a video of me to not open it because I am being blackmailed. But to do that I first had to inform my parents. So I'm calling my mom. She says I'm very dumb, but she appreciates me informing her. She then passes the phone to my father so I can explain myself to him. He asks if I'm just naked on the video, or if I'm performing any actions, to which I responds, well yeah, I'm beating my meat of course. So now I'm waiting for someone to tell me that they received a video of me masturbating while having to explain myself to everyone who is concerned for me because of my post. TLDR, had video sex with a stranger, am now being blackmailed. I've had to tell my father that I'm choking my chicken on the video. Edit. A lot of people are asking me how she got my contacts. She copied a list of all my followers on Instagram. She also showed me proof of the recording. And for an update, no video has reached me or my friends yet. EDIT2, I can't keep up with the comments anymore. A lot of people are telling me their stories of how they got blackmailed. We're all a bunch of horny idiots, aren't we? I wish all the best luck to anyone who is or has been in a similar situation. Title: TIFU by suctioning my menstrual cup to my cervix. Buckle up, friends. If you have a weak stomach, you may want to not read. This just happened last night. So, for those of you who have a Y chromosome, you might need a little background info. Some ladies, instead of using a tampon or pad, use a reusable silicone menstrual cup. I am one of them. I'm into the low-waist lifestyle and I find both tampons and pads uncomfortable, so I thought this was a great find. The cups work the same as a tampon. You stick it up there and catches all your nonsense. Sounds simple, right? Nope. I work at a job which, without being too specific, is very active and doesn't leave much time for bathroom breaks. Yesterday was extra busy, so I didn't have enough time to check on my situation down there more than once. When I got home, I rushed to the bathroom to take the cup out, and I can't. It's stuck. So I'm in the bathroom, yanking and tugging on it and becoming increasingly panicked and sweaty. Without getting too graphic, I try what feels like a million maneuvers, and no dice. In fact, the more I shift it, the more I start feeling an agonizing, stabbing pain that makes me dizzy. Here's some more background info. Where the vagina ends, before you can get into the uterus, you have to pass through Satan's gateway, the cervix. It's a minuscule hole that is wildly sensitive and generally should not be fucked with. Hentai lied to you. Anything having to do with the cervix is roughly equivalent to getting kicked in the balls. So, having gotten pap smears, I know exactly what cervix pain feels like. That's when I realize I may be in a little over my head. Enter my long-suffering boyfriend, who I'll call John. John and I have been together for 4 years, and by this point there isn't a whole lot we hide in the way of bodily functions. John also comes from a family of nurses, so there really isn't a lot that he's squeamish about. After much embarrassed dancing around, I finally asked John if he can help me, because I think my menstrual cup is suctioned to my cervix. So, my dear boyfriend sticks his fingers in there and dutifully tries to tug it out, but again no dice. Now, my boyfriend is the type of person who finds it very difficult to set a problem aside once it's in front of him. Before I know it, I'm laid up in bed on top of multiple towels while my boyfriend tries tweezers, cooking tongs, etc. Finally he decides that it's not loosening on its own, so he has to stick his hand in there and physically break the seal around my cervix. I swear to God I nearly fainted, the pain just radiated through my whole torso. Finally I feel the accursed thing unstick itself, and my boyfriend decides to yank it out triumphantly. Well, as I previously mentioned, the whole reason I got into this situation in the first place is because I wasn't able to wash it out more than once that day. So, I almost see it in slow motion as my boyfriend pulls the menstrual cup out like a goddamn Christmas cracker and promptly sprays himself, me, and the bed with blood. We just sat in silence for a couple moments after as we surveyed what looked like a particularly violent hooker stabbing. After cleaning everything up, and much apologizing and gratitude on my part, we finally realized how absurd the whole evening had been and had a very long laugh. And then I threw the cup in the garbage. TLDR, after a very long day, I realized that I cannot remove my menstrual cup because it has become vacuum sealed onto my cervix. After trying an entire kitchen's worth of implements, my boyfriend has to go wrist deep in vag to unstick it. What follows can only be summarized as the elevator scene from The Shining. Edit. Wow. Thank you for all the great product recommendations, I'm going to check them all out. I certainly didn't mean to upset those for whom the cup really works, I know it works very well for many people. Title: TIFU by strength training my cat on accident. Okay, so this was years ago, but I thought about it recently and wanted to share. Plus it is a silly one. So we got a cat, Sushi, and she was persnickety when it came with her water bowl. She will splash it around and get water everywhere. We tried separate food and water bowls, different styles, but she just loves to spill water. I decided that I would put a heavier bowl down, so she couldn't move it. Well, she kept trying, every day. She would try her hardest to push the bowl and came up empty pod. But then one day I saw that she had learned how to move the bowl. As a response, I put an even heavier bowl down. Again, she tried to move it, failed for a week or two, but soon, that bowl bent to her will. I gave up on the heavier bowl's idea after that, and she went back to her regular bowl. She could now easily flip this thing over, and upon seeing how she could manage to do this, I had realized I had put my cat on a strength training regimen. My mother took her to vet around this time, and she couldn't pry her out her crate because she was, in her words, strong as hell. I think that some of this is just regular cat strength, but I couldn't help but wonder. Her crate had to be taken apart with her in it to get her out. Fast forward to today, she isn't as strong I think, but her water bowl always moves around the kitchen. Title: TIFU by getting the dimensions wrong for a sex toy, obligatory. This happened over the course of a few days, ending a couple days ago. So I was on a certain adult website having a browse of certain adult products, ended up popping some stuff in my cart until I hit the free postage amount. I was pleasantly surprised when I was offered 20% off as a new customer, and applied the discount. However, this then took me below the amount I needed to get free postage. So I decided to get one more thing to push me back over that limit. I did not know how far I had pushed the limit until it was too late. I kept browsing and then decided I would get a new butt plug, maybe a slightly bigger one than current, just to try it. I found a reasonably priced one in 3 sizes, 3, 5 inches, 4 inches and 4, 5 inches. I, the anal noob that I am, assumed this was in reference to length. So I clicked on the largest one to add to cart, because new experience, the length doesn't seem that bad, worth a try. Fast forward a couple days and my delivery arrives. I'm excited, I don't know what's coming. I wait for my partner to get home and we unbox it together. It's all fun and games and lighthearted until we unearth a monstrosity of a butt plug. It is quite literally the size of my hand. There's a stunned silence before I rush to explain this was an accident, and all my partner can do is crack up. No pun intended. I tore off the packaging in case it was some sort of optical illusion making it look bigger, but no, it's just massive and it is going nowhere near my scared and naive bumhole. Hope this brings you all more joy than it brought me. Title: TIFU by having a YouTube playlist called Music for Hot Freaky Sex, throwaway, but this happened about 2 hours ago. For some context, I was with a girl for about 8 years. She passed away from brain cancer in late 2017. The funniest girl I ever met. We used to have our own makeshift karaoke nights by playing our favorite songs and singing along to them on YouTube. One day she decided to hijack my computer and made a playlist of all of our favorite songs for karaoke nights and labeled it "Music for Hot Freaky Sex." We both thought it was hilarious. We used it a lot, but of course since the year she got sick, it's been collecting dust on my YouTube account for a while. It's taken me some time to do things normally since then, but this year I took the first step back into the dating game. Probably not the best idea during a pandemic, but I've had some newfound confidence that I haven't had in a long time and figured why not. Fast forward to today. I've been seeing a girl for about 3 months, she's pretty nice and we seem to have good chemistry. She doesn't joke around as often as my late girlfriend, but we do have some pretty good laughs. We were at my house watching some DIY videos and she suggests I make a playlist of some interesting projects so we can revisit them later. I say okay, great idea, and when I click on Add to Playlist, the first thing that pops up is Music for Hot Freaky Sex. I chuckled at the memory of its conception, but she was not amused. She asked if I was seeing anyone else, to which I replied, I was, but... And she didn't give me any time to explain that it's been 3 years. I also tried telling her that it was a joke, but she just said I was being disgusting and how dare I have a dedicated playlist for sleeping around with other girls. She picked up her things and left. I'd like to say before I finish this off, this is not how all girls act. I don't want to normalize the dating stereotype that women are psycho and think all men are pigs, but this truly was her response and frankly I don't think I'll be hearing much from her anytime soon.